All right, hello and welcome to the Benzo Rehab Dungeon, episode 63.
It's getting so close.
Yeah, I know. It'll be nice soon, if you know what I mean. It is the 22nd of October 2021. I am your host, Michael Deebs. Joining me as always, Danko Suvin from the Instagram handle at DankToLuz, and John, the producer, from the Instagram handle at Discopathic. Starting with John, how are you doing today?
Disappointed. Disappointed that I'm back.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's fair.
Yeah,
we gave you an unpaid vacation last week, and you have the audacity to return and show disappointment.
Yeah, no, I'm not grateful to be back.
Okay.
I wish I was living in the woods in the snow.
I wish you were
rather do that.
More grateful employee.
But we'll never get what we want. That's what life teaches you.
That is true.
Actually, the labor lawyer says I should refer to you as volunteers, not employees.
Yeah.
So
it's also we should probably note also that the reason John was placed on an unpaid vacation is because he refuses to get vaccinated for Zoom calls. So true. I mean, and he's still not vaccinated, which is kind of crazy to me, because we're in. I mean, if you look at the screen, we're in incredibly close proximity. That is not 6 feet.
Could you imagine if we were actually all in the same room, but we just have like different like lighting situations going on? It's very tight space.
Different audio quality, different everything.
Well, it's we're rhizomatic that way or something. Danko, how are you doing? Moving on from John's disappointment.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying not to fixate on my own disappointment with what happened with John.
What happened with John?
You know what happened with John, man. I'm not gonna do this right now.
Yeah, let's not talk about it on air, I guess.
Yeah.
Just I just wish, I hope the kid's okay. And the dog and the dog's wife.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah.
This seems like quite the yarn, as they say.
Yeah.
That the traditional joke format. It's a kid, a dog, and a dog's wife walk into a bar.
and John commits homicide on all three.
So otherwise, I'm good. Yeah.
Cool. Glad to hear it. Would maybe anybody like to ask how I'm doing? I don't know. Just
yeah. You're a person.
It's kind of a time sink,
with feelings. Tell us about your feelings.
Well, I do have a big announcement. I have a couple of things that I need to talk about. The first announcement is I'm finally leaving the hell of the government job that I work at. Which I'm just going into the private sector to live probably in a different kind of hell. But from what I'm, kind of sussing out from it, and what I've agreed to, and what they told me the position is, I'm going to be able to work kind of remotely a lot of the time. There's going to be some local area travel involved as I go around to different sites and do some sort of stuff. But overall, I think it's going to be a pretty big improvement in my life, and I'm hoping that it will allow me to be more flexible so that I can create more content, because my current job has been stressful. Danko, as you know, I've been called in several times when we're trying to do a workshop and stuff like that. that should mostly be going away. So I'm happy about that. I have prepared a shot. John, I know you have got something. Yeah. So we'll cheers to that.
Cheers.
I also think it's going to allow me to pursue finishing a degree. I've got most of a degree finished.
Hell yeah.
I had all of my general education stuff done. I was going for an art degree. That's probably going to change, but neither here nor there. And then the other thing that I would like to address is somebody sent me something which is very troubling to me.
Yeah, we've called the cyber police about this.
Yeah, we have called the cyber police. Somebody decided to using and when I first saw this come through my email, I was like, oh fuck, has somebody stolen my credit card? Yeah, John is looking at the number for the cyber cops. Oh man,
we call them frequently.
The cyber cops is something that's real. And hold up, go back. Look, do you see that on the right there?
What?
The U.S. report to the President's Commission on Critical Infrastructure Protection stated cyber cops are law enforcement personnel whose beat is cyberspace. I want to kill myself.
What the fuck?
Guys, cyber cops are just those fake little girls that are on To Catch a Predator.
Yeah. Cyber cops are more like honeypots. I'm not personally offended by this because I've never been caught by one or anything.
Oh god.
I have not been caught by one. Not that I
stop saying it like that.
That is a really bad way to phrase that, isn't it? Nor will I ever be caught by one because I'm not doing anything like that. I almost said I'm not doing anything wrong, and I was like, no, that's still like incriminating.
So the Benzo Rehab dungeon is accepting applications for personal defense lawyers.
Yeah. If you know somebody who's really good with a legal defense, let me know. So anyways, the object that was sent to me, and this offends me on many levels, is the
yeah, that's the right one, John. Oh my god, look at that.
The Ruth Bader Ginsburg Funko Pop, combining two of the worst things that I can possibly imagine.
My favorite thing about that Funko Pop is also that it's numbered number 45.
Yeah, which the president she did not like.
Right, which I feel like would just be so aggravating to most of the people that would love that Funko Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very pleasing.
The 45th member of their American History series, I guess.
They should have thought that through.
If you're new to the show and you're not aware, I don't like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She used incredibly racist Manifest Destiny legal precedents in order to secure legal authority for the pipelines that are going through native lands, on top of just being a liberal corporate shill her entire life.
And bad at finding when to die.
Yeah.
Generally you want to retire before you die, not after.
Right. Yeah, people told her to retire during Obama's presidency. And
you almost said reign.
I actually had to struggle not to say reign, and I was like, no, what do you actually call it?
Tyrant Obama.
So yeah, plenty of people told her to resign or retire during Obama's presidency. She refused, and then there was a bunch of like woke scold lib articles that came out like, it's actually sexist for you to say that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, boss queen, needs to retire right now because she's gonna live forever and it's gonna be fine. And then Trump came in and it was like, oh my god, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, please live forever. And then she died during Trump's presidency.
We've only learned two things over the last like decade of American politics, and it's that hope always works out.
Yeah.
And any kind of strategery is sexist and racist, unless it is like 13th dimensional chess invented in the back of someone's mind on the internet.
So the other half of why Funko Pops are atrocious is, first off, they look stupid as shit. Secondly, they're made out of PVC, and
which is good.
Yeah, and Anarcho Goth had a pretty good post about this not too long ago. But the emissions that go into making a Funko Pop are obscene, because it's made out of PVC. And I'm not anti-PVC or anything like that. Yeah. It's very good for plumbing applications and wiring applications, stuff like that. Very necessary for some of the infrastructure that makes our lives today possible. However, this is not making my life possible, and I don't think it'll ever be. I don't think it'll ever be useful to me. But I'm gonna keep that around as the most cursed liberal artifact that I have, and I'm calling it an artifact because yes, it's made out of plastic. That's gonna last forever.
Hell yeah!
Let's get on with the show.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice in like a kind of a sweet metaphorical movie way.
Yeah, somebody clearly knows me.
No, I don't mean that. I don't care about any of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My personal relationship with whoever sent that to me is
means nothing to me.
Yeah, it means nothing to you.
But I do think it's really sweet that they decided to make a little Ginsburg out of forever chemicals, because this way she'll actually stay where she belongs, which is in the life cycle of every living thing that exists for forever.
The other irony is that this is made out of PVC, and plastics being a product of the oil industry in general.
That's also a good point. See,
so yeah,
actually very deep.
No. Whoever sent this is somebody that I probably drunkenly rambled all of my politics to several times. They have not made themselves apparent to me. I'm hoping they will soon. But and obviously they know me well enough to know my address, which I don't just give out willy-nilly.
Yeah, that probably boils it down more than the drunkenly rambling about your politics thing.
Yeah.
Well, because you've got almost 2,000 followers now.
Almost 2,000. People
so
regretting every bit of their decision. So let's get to our first link, John. And this is apparently not Kirsten Cinema. Sorry. Go ahead and click on it.
What's with these?
Pause it real
what's
quick.
With these weird? I don't even know how to. Yeah, like what's with all these Democratic senators, Congress people, politicians in general, and having incomprehensibly difficult names to pronounce despite seeming very easy?
Well, so first off, they're all white people.
It's a little tricky,
right?
Well, no, because I'm talking about I'm not allowed to say her name because I won't say it right. Harris.
Kamala.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard, man. I think you should.
I promise this isn't even performative, but I also don't remember. I also don't even remember, like, it again. Is it Kirsten or Kirsten?
It's
Kirsten.
Kirstensen. I don't know, man.
Kristen.
It's Kirsten. Yeah, let's just call her Kristen.
Christy.
I've been told that this isn't Kirsten Cinema.
With that outfit.
Yeah, the outfit and what she's about to do. So what she's teaching is a math class, and she's teaching
trigonometry.
Trigonometry, and the abbreviation that she's teaching is SOHCAHTOA, which is short for sine, cosine, and tangent, and how it relates to the different formulas and whatever. So she's teaching this mnemonic device to help the kids remember. And instead of just being like, hey, just SOHCAHTOA or whatever, she's like, this kind of sounds like an Indian thing, right?
Which is a thing that's not uncommon in these classes, or at least wasn't when I was growing up.
No,
but it's hysterical how like this one passing kind of offensive thing that someone might say just exploded into this. It's amazing.
Yeah, like so there's a difference between, you know, like, hey, think of it like maybe kind of like I don't know, sounds kind of Native American or something.
Right.
She does this, and if John, you could
Yeah.
hit the
Yeah.
the sound at the bottom right.
Yeah. I'm guessing Dorian hasn't seen what the.
Oh, maybe it has to be playing for you to hit the
I
sound.
think so. No, no, it's angry. That's an angry man. She's got.
Why did they remove?
No,
Yeah, try the next slide.
They couldn't have.
Man, technology is hard. Also, just the browser version of Instagram is shit.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's just the
pretty
worst thing in the
terrible,
world.
But,
I mean, we can fill in what she's saying.
Yeah, so she's basically just running around screaming Sokotoa, Sokotoa.
Jumping on desks
she's got
and
a
shit,
she's got a
crossing her legs.
headdress on. She's doing tomahawk chopping. All of her like sounds are like the high pitched like Indian like bullshit that that people do, the racist shit. Sokotoa.
Yeah, no.
White lady. Yeah, that's probably gonna pull it up, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't that many of them?
You'll need to get out of There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, no, it's not just her saying something in passing, and this is just 41 seconds of it. This went on for minutes.
Yeah. I'm glad it has her actually on the table though, because that's my favorite part of this.
You know what? Maybe this is a sound problem on my part.
No. I think you can. You just go hit the yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah, and it just
doesn't... The sound on this isn't working.
Racist lady, racist lady, racist lady. That's what it sounds like. But she's saying
dancing around. She's fucking. See if you can find a YouTube link real quick or something.
Yeah.
Trigonometry. The trig fundamentals, the hour long.
I'm just gonna go to YouTube.
Yeah, let's not worry too much about it. But anyway, she runs around. She screams Sokotoa, Sokotoa. She pretends to stub her toe at some point, and she stubs it on what she stubs it on what she calls the rock god. And then she starts praying to the rock god.
No, I didn't see any of that.
All right, let me
I haven't seen that part. That's incredible. All right.
Yeah.
That rules. This lady has
brain problems.
She's bipolar or something.
Well,
she has to be.
That's why I wasn't sure if it was
So like that's why I think it's kind of important to hear it, because like when she's going, this is crazy, she's like, it literally actually sounds like just a goofy, normal, not mentally ill teacher.
Yeah.
Unironically, like laughing at her own bullshit.
No, but it seems like.
All right, John. I just put a link and down in the Discord.
Hold up.
I mean, also like
the go ahead.
Delineations of mental illness are essentially arbitrary anyway. But
not the top video.
This just seems like a fucking a manic weirdo that got one seemingly funny thought into their head and just could not release it. And it's
this is what happens when you don't bully. I don't know.
Your teacher,
STEM kids.
You right. I know. That's what I was telling people earlier when people were sending this to me, where it was just, this is what happens when we don't teach the humanities to STEM students.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and play that and see if it works.
There it goes. Okay.
It's like super fucking quiet. Could you turn up your sound?
Is that better?
I think it's.
There's so much planning involved.
Yeah, go ahead and go to the next slide. No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can hit the next button on there. There she is, up on top of shit, stomping.
People hiding their fucking faces.
Yeah, that kid's like, I don't want to be in this fucking video. You'll notice it's only the white kid that hides his face because he's like, yeah.
Oh, one of us. No.
Well, that, you know.
So go ahead and go to the next,
the
next one, because this is where she starts talking about stubbing her toe or something, I think.
Well, yeah.
I think it was at the end there.
Yeah,
oh yeah, no, go back and I don't know if you paused it, but yeah, go ahead.
What the fuck?
Yeah, she doesn't seem mentally ill at all.
Yeah, keep going through this. This is incredible.
Water goddess, again, I
Don't
ask
do
you.
that.
Please tell me the secret Indian chant. Please. And then I hear. Because obviously this is ridiculous.
All right, next
What
one.
was this? What was the answer from the Indian rain god?
It was Sokotoa or something. I don't know, man.
Oh, it's all
Yeah.
Sokotoa.
Yeah.
It's Sokotoa all the way down.
Then,
Wow, look! I just ran into the rock god. And he spit out.
oh, which by the way, the viewer and listener, I don't know if it why this came out. The person recording, the student is in fact Native American.
Yeah, he or maybe they, I don't know what their gender identity is or anything, but they said that they saw the headdress come out, and
Yeah.
this is a valid response. They saw the headdress come out, and were like, all right, something bad's about to happen.
Yeah.
And then they said later on that they posted the because they felt like violence was committed against them. And you're right.
Yeah. No.
This is beyond the pale of racism, I think. Go ahead and continue this clip because it's just fucking bizarre.
Sorry. This is just too much. He spit out these beautiful rocks.
And so her mocking, which if the listener doesn't know, I'm an atheist, but
Wow, all right, thanks for announcing that, John.
But well, when it comes to religion, but like the way that like she's like mocking, I guess, which I don't know, some rock god that she read about, fucking, I'm guessing.
Sure.
I don't even think she read about it. She's just
Yeah,
like,
just assume
cute people have gods for everything.
Yeah, that she just assumes that they worshipped a rock god, which I just would like to point out that rocks do in fact exist.
They sure do.
So if they did in fact worship rocks, their gods did exist. So
Yeah,
who's
Well, there you
ridiculous?
go.
Who's ridiculous
Pretty
now?
deep.
fucking pwned.
My children. I pulled them out of my panther. No, wait, no, but the rock god did this. Oh. Thank you, rock god, for these beautiful.
Yeah, the whole thing, like you're whispering
Yeah,
stop. The
that
whole thing
rules.
is just like, no, please stop. Please stop.
That's very good.
Please stop. Go ahead and go to the next slide that we have up here. So she's been placed on paid leave, which I think is probably not the way that should be handled. The Instagram account that's been covering this a bunch is called corn _maiden _designs.
Oh, god damn it. Ah, fuck.
What?
I'm sorry. When you were saying, I wasn't reading it on the screen, and I'm just like, oh, it's some fucking meme account with corn in its name because I was thinking of the band, and then it's not because it's anyway. Continue.
It's some kind of indigenous designer, from what I could tell. I didn't really take a long look at her account. I just know that she's been posting this stuff. And I don't think she's the student that recorded her, but she's got a large following, so amplified the message or whatever. But yeah, the teacher's been put on paid leave. She's been doing this for a decade, apparently.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
it's
I was
so
gonna
practice.
ask.
Yeah,
Right, because she has the fucking for the listener, she had like a goddamn what's it called? The thing that kills you after you watch it long enough. Not the Ring.
A PowerPoint.
PowerPoint, yeah. Yeah, like a PowerPoint with all these like racing figures and shit. It was a lot. Yeah. It's clearly something she's done before.
For sure. Let's go to our next white person stunting.
Also, is this Riverside, California that this happened?
It is Riverside, California, and I was actually surprised.
Of course it happened in Riverside. Really? You're surprised by that?
Well, no. What I'm surprised about is I know that there's a lot of tribes in the area.
Yeah.
And so I'm surprised that this is the first time it's come up with her.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's
I'm not surprised that it happened in Riverside. That's of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's just that the administration wasn't doing anything about it. Like, I guarantee you, like when I was in high school, like there were kids of minority groups that brought things up to the administration all the fucking time. And
like,
you
why
know,
are you being so emotional about it?
Yeah, they would just gaslight like the whole student body in response.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, a reminder that I'm pretty sure I haven't looked this up recently, but maybe John can, but it's probably a little difficult to track it down. But I'm pretty sure Riverside County the Riverside County School District was the one that ended up allowing police officers to entrap students for selling like them micro amounts of weed. Like they had like a Jump Street team of cops that were posing as children who like got kids that weren't drug dealers to begin with. They just like asked everyone to like find them weed, and then of course some teenager ended up getting someone like a nug, and it became a whole fucking thing. 22 high school students, I think that's probably it.
Yeah, 2013
Riverside School. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Is this 21 Jump Street or something? That's the first line.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so, I mean, Riverside is just, it's apparently a county made of cops. And so.
No, without a doubt. Riverside County is, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. Yeah.
It's got to be, I'm guessing it's like as bad as like all those counties like between like Kentucky and Tennessee that are like they're just cops. Like that's what the town revenue comes from, is like
yeah, probably
people that happen to pass through their fucking like hellhole of a fucking town.
So Riverside, people have this illusion about California as like, oh, it's a bleeding liberal state or something like that. Riverside County is kind of it's inland, it's east of the coastal area, and there is the coastal elite like mentality for sure, which is also like punitive in how it operates, just differently punitive, but still punitive. But yeah, so it's like very very that's what I'm looking for, conservative generally. It just sucks. Everything's run down.
It just sucks.
Everything hasn't been like maintained properly. There's a clear distinction between like, oh, you're a rich person, and then there's like a giant disparity where like you have people living in like fucking shacks and shit. It's I don't know, Dorian, you've lived around here longer. If you have more insight on it, but I've been through Riverside County a couple of times, and it's just depressing.
Yeah, it's it just sucks. It sucks. It's everything in California. If you go east, you're going a place that you don't want to go.
It's typically true. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Riverside it's a mix of either just a bunch of suburban space that's kind of like it's a suburban space that feels like there's no air.
Yes.
Like it's impossible to breathe there. And it's a mix of that and then some like rundown shit and strip malls. Like that's all my experiences of Riverside. And apparently a bunch of cops posing as children.
Yeah.
And then teachers posing as Native Americans.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, reminder of
well,
what we're talking.
Elizabeth.
And not many
Warren,
rivers.
Elizabeth Warren reached out to her, and she's gonna get her a blood test. I think to see if she. That's not true. I'm just making.
I almost believed you. Yeah.
And Kirsten Cinema said, "You go, girl." I'm just
Slay.
making
Slay Queen.
This is maybe slander. I don't know.
Yeah. We're a satire show.
Sure.
Or whatever. What are we?
I don't know, man.
We're the news.
Yeah, I have us listed under news and politics. So.
Oh no. If there is one person of our 3 listeners that only gets their news from this,
And
you know that has to be the case.
Them.
God bless them.
God bless.
But also God bless them
schizophrenic
because I'm so
nightmare.
worried about them.
So let's bring it to a serious topic, which is Alec Baldwin as a fucking murderer.
Seems like it.
Yeah, no, I'm completely comfortable saying that, or at least he's like so negligent that
he's a slaughterer of men.
Yeah, he's a manslaughterist. So he's filming the film called Rust.
About accidentally killing someone, right?
I don't know what the plot is. I don't really care.
I think there is something in there about accidentally murdering someone in Rust.
That's ironic, I believe is the term for that.
It's iconic.
So yeah, he's on set. He's doing rehearsals and stuff like that. Shoots a person to death. And so far what I've seen from most news outlets, I tried to look through just general like mainstream news stories about this. Oh God, what a tragedy. Oh, Alec Baldwin must feel so bad, etc., etc.
Brandon Lee dead again.
Jesus. So and John, you were saying before we started recording that there's been like a bunch of like news propaganda about like how sorry Alec Baldwin feels and like, oh, this picture of Alec Baldwin being distraught about the situation, whatever. So the story from the LA Times is very enlightening. Could you go up to the top so I can read the headline off?
Oh yeah.
Rust crew describes on-set gun safety issues and misfires days before fatal shooting. Isn't that fucking weird? Scroll down to the body of the article, please. Hours before Alec Baldwin fatally shot a cinematographer in the New Mexico set of Rust with a prop gun, half a dozen camera crew workers walked off the set to protest working conditions. The camera operators and their assistants were frustrated by the conditions surrounding the low-budget film, including complaints about long hours, long commutes, and collecting their paychecks. According to three people familiar with the matter who are not authorized to comment. Safety protocols standard in the industry, including gun inspectors, were not strictly followed on the Rust set near Santa Fe, the sources said. They said at least one of the camera operators complained last weekend to a production manager about gun safety on the set. 3 crew members who were present at the Bonanza Creek Ranch set on Saturday said they were particularly concerned about 2 accidental prop gun discharges. This is not the first time it's happened on this fucking set.
Third time's a charm.
Third time, Jesus, man, ouch. But yes, true. Baldwin's stunt double accidentally fired 2 rounds Saturday after being told that the gun was cold, lingo for a weapon that doesn't have any ammunition, including blanks. 2 crew members who witnessed the episode told the Los Angeles Times.
How do you accidentally fire 2 rounds out of a weapon that you thought was unloaded?
Yeah, I mean, it was probably something like, And I can see where this would be like a thing where like you're trying to act out a scene, right? And you pull the trigger and you've been told that it's been cold, but it goes off.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I guess it had blinks. Maybe I misunderstood what was going on. And just because you're a performer, you go through with the scene anyway and fire the second shot, whatever.
Do we know if those were fired off consecutively, or if these was just two different instances?
I don't know, but I'm just
because what.
Go ahead.
Sorry. What I imagine is probably responsible based upon the like complaints of the people on board, but nothing else is simply that everyone is being worked so fucking long, and has to commute so long, and everyone's exhausted, and people forget what has what in it and shit like that, and that's why this shit matters.
Yeah. So, and I it's really funny because I'd actually been hearing about this stuff in the news, but again, it was only framed in the sense of union complaints.
Yeah.
These workers are apparently union workers, and they've been complaining for a while about this whole fucking thing, and the industry as a whole, I guess, is what was overshadowing this specific instance, I guess. But this was
I think that's
big
true.
instance. Yeah, but that again, it was like sanitized about how dangerous this particular set was.
Yeah.
There's also a kind of an interesting tendency, and we could probably turn this into a whole thing, but it's probably not the right time to do it because we have other things to cover. But there's an interesting tendency, especially with media and just the way that people seem to process things, where when they end up hearing about something like a crisis with unions, they end up thinking it is like a purely political performative issue where the unions are angry with the bosses, and this is just a thing, and eventually someone will win, and then some money is going to move or something, where it's like genuinely, I mean, the reason that unions exist isn't just to like move around money and get people paid better. It's also they're around to like make people's lives not awful, stop people from fucking dying, stuff like that. And so, like, ironically, the fact that there is like a some kind of an option for workers to express their complaints, it also leads to, because the way that it's framed a lot of the time, a tendency to ignore those complaints.
So what you're telling me is that prop members had access to the gun, and a member of management died.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the allegation we're making here. So let's read more of the article. So yeah, Baldwin's stunt double accidentally fired 2 rounds. Goes on to say there should have been an investigation of what had happened, said the crew member. There were no safety meetings. There was no assurance that it wouldn't happen again. All they wanted to do was rush. A colleague was so alarmed by the prop gun misfires, he sent a text message to the unit production manager. We've now had 3 accidental discharges. This is super unsafe, according to a copy of the message reviewed by the Times. One thing I would like to
accidental discharge.
Well, yeah, this is before
the 6th in total.
6. Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Baldwin also shot twice.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think he also shot twice. So then
amazing.
So
cool.
five, not 6.
5. Okay, I was wondering where that other one came in, but so Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Something that I would encourage people to do in their jobs, and I know this seems like a shitty thing, but now that I'm leaving the government job that I've been working at, I feel like I can probably talk about it a little bit more. I'll talk about it more later on, specifics and stuff like that, but it is very, very important for you to make a written record of whatever is going on at your workplace if you're unsatisfied with your work conditions. It's not enough to just have a meeting where there's nothing recorded or whatever and it becomes like a matter of hearsay. You need to, and a text message is good, email is good, because those are permanent records. Those are something that you can refer back to. You can't really like fake an email that you sent 10 weeks ago. Like, you're not going to be able to fake the date on that email or anything. To have these kind of reference points to say, hey, look, I brought it up to management. Here's the email. Here's the timestamp. You can look through our archive or whatever, or you can look through my email archives and verify that I sent it on this date. Nothing's faked here or whatever. It is very important when you're dealing with things like this with management that's maybe not hearing you out on your concerns about your workplace, and make a written fucking record.
Yeah.
Also, the power of a blind carbon copy is immense.
Like I said, I will probably once I have this new position secured, I will probably do some talking about my government job and why I left, and a lot of the things that are going on in government in general, local government, I think, because this seems, some of the stuff I was going through seems endemic to just the public sphere of workers, and I think it's important to talk about, because the work I'm doing is kind of in infrastructure to some degree, and you know, the shit that I was putting up with at work directly affects the local populace.
Shitty jobs episode upcoming. Would be fun. It'd be fun. A lot to talk about.
So the article goes on to say the safety of our cast and crew is a top, or
was a top. All right.
So the production company put out this I don't know, statement or whatever. The safety of our cast and crew is the top priority of Rust Productions and everyone associated with the company, Rust Movie Productions said in the statement. Though we were not made aware of any official complaints concerning weapon or prop safety on set, we will be conducting an internal review of our procedures while production is shut down. We will continue to cooperate with the Santa Fe authorities in their investigation and offer mental health services to the cast and crew during this tragic time. This is typical shit that HR does, which is they will have some kind of obscure form. And this is one of the things that I've kind of been dealing with at work. They will have some kind of obscure form that never really gets talked about. Maybe it'll get brought up like offhandedly in like a training session or something like that. But it'll always be like, oh yeah, if you have a safety concern, go ahead and use form 10B TAC 32 divided by 7, and you can find it on our blah 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 page, whatever. And so the only time that they'll treat a safety concern seriously is when you, in the heat of the moment, seeing that there's some kind of unsafe condition, go to this fucking obscure form that like probably isn't like extremely well known, and fill out this form and like explicitly detail what the problem is, where the natural thing to do is go to your boss and say, hey, I think there's an unsafe condition here. So this is what HR people do, is they do this kind of shit. Yep. Where they have, you know, like it's built into the system that they never actually have any liability for whatever happens, because, oh, you didn't fill out the form that we have, and so you didn't follow company policy, and really it's kind of your fault that this happened.
To be fair, though, HR has probably also set up a dope pizza party for the
yeah, okay. Yeah, I was like, he's not about to advocate for HR on here, is he? Man, our HR lady's gonna be so pissed. So anyways, you know, tragic that Helena Hutchins died. That's the name of the gal that Baldwin shot. There is, in my opinion, quite a lot on Baldwin here, because, you know, rather than standing with the workers that walked off the set for safety concerns, decided to keep doing rehearsals. He's a huge industry name, and I think him drawing attention to the unsafe work conditions probably would have, I don't know, done something.
Probably would have helped.
Probably would have helped, and he wouldn't have killed somebody if he stopped doing rehearsals.
Yeah.
And like took their complaints seriously.
Yeah. And again, news propagandists, this is the face of a man talking to his lawyer and or agent in a conference call. Not a distraught person.
That's a guy asking whether or not he can be sent to Argentina or.
That's
And
the image of a guy who's on the phone with Hillary Clinton telling her the job is done. But
but really.
I'm someone that has kind of complicated feelings about the way that art and like film large projects are made, and like how much comfort everyone should expect on situations like this, especially if it is, as they end up saying on this, like a low budget thing.
Sure.
But the fact of the matter that apart from like, you need to make sure that shit like this doesn't happen, right? But also, I don't think you're allowed to call something low budget, no matter how low the budget is, if you're still casting Alec Baldwin. Like
right.
that just means that you had a bunch of money that you ended up wasting on an asshole instead of like on other things that would matter to the crew, that would make it less of a nightmare, probably.
Well, yeah, it's like Nick Cage movies are always low budget, but Nick Cage still makes millions of dollars.
Right.
Like he's like a third of the budget in these low budget films.
We are leaving him alone. He is an angel, and we will not speak poorly of Nicolas Cage.
Did he have to buy the fucking dinosaur?
Yes, yes,
okay,
he needs the dinosaur bones. He's gonna find a way to make it a tax write-off, because that he desperately needs.
What's he gonna snort cocaine off of if not dinosaur bones?
That's true.
Right. I mean, he also needs to grind some up into it. Like that's it's like rhino horn. But the last thing, and I know that movies aren't filmed sequentially, generally speaking, but please bear with me, okay? I really want the cinematography to change suddenly in the middle of this film to like a movie that was made by a child.
Yeah.
Just
because
like
the cinematographer
awful sets and shit, everything's different.
The cinematographer was a pretty up and coming big name.
Which is tragic, which is awful.
No, that's not what makes it tragic. The tragedy is that, I mean, if you can call it a tragedy and not like completely negligent homicide on the part of Alec Baldwin.
I mean, it can be both, right? I mean, all the Greek tragedies are generally negligence.
Sure. No, I mean the tragedy is she's a human being that's dead now.
No.
It doesn't really,
I mean, it makes it worse that she was good at stuff.
No, I don't think that. I want to make it clear that that's not why I think this is a problem.
No.
All you people that are shitty at stuff are worthwhile.
You're expendable. No.
I mean, maybe this is a disagreement we have.
What I'm saying is the production quality change that you're noting may actually be very apparent because the original cinematographer was somebody who was very talented, apparently.
Yeah. Right.
And now and I hope this movie just never comes out, because that would be like the justice of anything, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
As much as we can seek it, and hopefully Alec Baldwin goes to prison.
So
what's probably gonna
then we'll really know if she's management,
Yeah.
Because like is the lead cinematographer somebody worth canceling the film over? Or are they just like a grip, or a stuntman? Like stuntmen die and they still put out the films.
That's true.
I mean, since we're dealing with Alec Baldwin here, it's almost definitely going to be a circumstance where like he's not going to respond by like melting down and saying like, oh, we can't continue with this. He's going to, along with everyone else in management, exactly. Yeah. She made a sacrifice for us, kind of thing. Yeah. And then they're going to release the movie, and it's just going to be a bad movie. But it could go one of two directions, right? So it's either just going to be a bad movie and with bad cinematography, simply because the fact that it's inconsistent and like shit is just kind of weird, or hey, maybe some amazing cinematographer will decide that they want to do some masturbatory thing and be like, I'll save the day, I'll sink in here. But it's
I'll
either going to be
on her legacy.
It's either going to be a shitty movie. that is recognized as shitty and everyone ignores it, as just like another cursed film that didn't work.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a cursed film where someone died for it and is going to get Academy Awards, and Alec Baldwin's going to be rewarded for this.
Oh yeah.
We truly live in a meritocratic society. So, we brought up unions earlier. Let's go to the next link.
Alec Baldwin Joker.
Jesus. So IATSE, which is the go scroll down. There we go. The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. I knew it was about the entertainment business. I just always forget the abbreviation.
Only theater kids would name their union something
Yeah.
like that too.
Well,
Yeah.
you
Yahtzee!
remember Team America World Police and
Oh yeah.
the Film Actors Guild.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But
good
anyways,
movie.
they
Pretty good
threatened
movie.
to go on strike, and because the entertainment business is so money interested, all they had to do was threaten to go on strike, and it looks like they've got a new deal worked out. I think the union is going to take a vote on whether or not they proceed with like a new kind of set of industry standards. Let's go to the next link. We're gonna talk a bit about unions and striking here. So the John Deere workers have gone on strike.
Hell yeah.
The auto workers union. It's like something like 10,000 workers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So members of the. Could you zoom in a little bit, John? Sorry, it's hard for me to see this.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So 10,000 John Deere workers in Iowa, Illinois, and Kansas have launched an open-ended strike October 14th. The strike came after workers overwhelmingly voted down a first tentative agreement negotiated by the Auto Workers Union. Among the over 90% of members voting, 90% voted no. So that's pretty telling, I think.
Yeah.
The way that this started is interesting. Usually the contract negotiation process kind of happens behind closed doors, and the union members don't get to see it beforehand.
Hmm.
And I think this is one of the first times that they've been allowed to like really vote on it. But the difference here was that they were able to see it. They were able to cast their vote on it, and it was so disagreeable that they were like, "No, fuck that. We're gonna go on strike."
Yeah. I mean, voting does happen with some frequency with these things. It's just that whether or not they had any say in the contract that they're or the agreement that they're voting on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
And sometimes voting doesn't happen. Yeah. But
yeah, the added transparency to what the contract terms are going to be, and the fact that they were allowed to vote it down has led to this strike. Members' frustrations range from inadequate wage increases to an end to the pension for new hires, switching to a Choice Plus plan that many felt was scant on details. And they feel emboldened by a tight labor market and pandemic-related part shortages that have made it hard for Deere to build up inventory.
God bless.
Yeah, I mean, thanks COVID, I guess. Probably not.
I mean, this is a historical precedent. Is that ultimately like pandemics are pretty good for workers? I mean,
well,
no, I mean it increases wages. I'm not saying this in the sense where it's like I want pandemics to happen.
No.
But the result of pandemics generally leads to, because of the fact that there ends up being changes and problems of supply, ends up being, of course, fewer workers workers that are able to work, things like that. Wages increase, more bargaining power occurs. It's like when all this stuff we've done all these witch episodes, or I have, or whatever, which is bizarre. But like one of the most important takeaways of that entire thing is that like one of the greatest results of the Black Plague is that people were finally able to have their wages increased. And which is why we have to accuse everyone of doing the wrong jobs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, this is a precedent. This is a thing that occurs. And it's interesting.
Yeah, without a doubt, there's there. I mean, we talked about this early on in the pandemic that, you know, essential workers really have a lot of power right now, and they can flex that power. And I think you and I both wanted more strikes to happen.
Yes.
Obviously.
Dude, imagine a giant fast food worker like retail strike.
Oh, man, I would,
and of course,
I would die from coming all of my like,
right,
all of my hydration out of my body. Like, I would lose so much water weight from coming that I would just shrivel up and die.
I mean, just the idea of like, I mean, I have a bias, like Home Depot employees starting a union. Just imagine that. Incredible.
So let's go to the next slide, or next. So while they're on strike, because the company John Deere recognizes that the employees really kind of have the power here. All of their health benefits and pension benefits and stuff like that are still going to be paid during this time, even though there may, you know, currently there's no end in sight as far as I know for this strike. But in order to kind of keep people, I guess, invested in still working for the company, the company has recognized that, yeah, we shouldn't cut the benefits of everybody right now while we're in this interim period.
Also keeping in mind that, you know, performance benefits are going to apply to people that aren't striking.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So there is obviously an incentive for the non-striking employees, which are probably in like the middle to upper management range, I would assume and imagine.
Yeah, there was a whole story that came out about that, about how like a whole bunch of people that were essentially just pencil pushers or whatever,
let me see,
or like trying to fill these factory roles.
Yeah. Or John, if you wouldn't mind looking up, just look up John Deere and like ambulance or something like that.
John Deere ambulance.
Yeah, John.
Man, that would be the dopest ambulance tractor.
Because a bunch of people sent me this the story. That's not coming up with what I want. But a bunch of people sent me this story about how now that all the plant workers are kind of like on strike, the office like management side of things have been trying to like run like the essential sort of like production lines kind of stuff. Yeah. And I mean, it was like maybe one day before an ambulance had to be called, and then like they had a bunch of accidents that like destroyed a bunch of equipment or something like that. But the joke that I came up with when people sent me this was, oh no, the bean counters have to move the beans now.
Right.
And it's true that oh, there you go. Yeah. Look, that one. John Deere put temporary workers on the factory floor, going about as well as you'd expect. Scroll down to that tweet. On the first full day of John Deere using non-union workers to attempt to replace United Automotive Worker members on the factory floor, didn't even make it till 8 a.m. without a 911 call. Yeah, maybe play the video. I haven't seen this video. So yeah, it's just an ambulance heading to a factory.
Amazing.
Which hopefully nobody was injured too badly or anything like that. You know, obviously we don't want.
And if they were, hopefully they were an asshole.
Yeah, hopefully they were an asshole.
Hopefully they were a scab or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, the takeaway from this is that what people may consider unskilled labor, right? Like running a forklift, and of course, you know, there's the meme about, you know, I'm a forklift driver, and
Hell yeah.
women fear me, fish hate me, or whatever. You know, that's like a meme or whatever that goes around. But I've operated a forklift before, and it's it can be some tricky business, and
It fucking can.
and it can have some very real life implications if you fuck it up.
Especially when you're working in an unideal environment and
Yeah.
someone is fucking breathing down your neck and making demands.
Yeah. So, you know, call it unskilled labor if you want. Anybody could run a fucking forklift.
Also,
I don't think that's true.
That's such a fucking dumb term too. There's no such thing as unskilled labor.
Of course not. Of course
not.
Not.
The guy that works at your local donut shop, like you wouldn't be able to replace him immediately if you just walked in. Like chances are it's just not going to fucking happen. Like a phone banker, you know, all of these people have skills and like things that they can do. That drives me nuts.
And you know, let's go ahead and, you know, challenge the misnomer of what's considered skilled labor, which is, oh, I can fill out an Excel spreadsheet with fucking numbers.
Yeah, that's the craziest shit in the world.
Yeah.
Like I you know, my current job, I work in like a semi-management role, and it's like, really, anybody, if you taught them how to use Excel, could do my fucking job right now.
Yeah.
The actual skills that I have are related to electrical work, HVAC work, plumbing, and you know, building maintenance and stuff like that. The least amount of skill that I use is filling out a fucking Excel spreadsheet with a bunch of numbers to do like a budget report. I
mean, very similar circumstance here, and it's like literally stuff that I can just Google ends up being referred to as me having a skill. It's maddening. Yes, I had something else I want to say, but it's gone. I've died.
Maybe it'll be brought up in the next link.
Hell yeah.
Let's go ahead and go to the next link. I think oh yeah, so this is something I wanted to bring up as well, is that courts will always side with the corporate world.
Tend to do that. Yeah, it is.
So John Deere gets a temporary injunction limiting striking worker picket line in an Iowa court. Go ahead and scroll down, John. An Iowa judge has granted John Deere, the world's largest farming equipment maker, a temporary injunction against striking union members who trespass on the company's Davenport Works facility or block its entrance and exits. The union workers' activities were unwarranted, impermissible, and unlawful. Marlita Grave, Chief District Judge of Iowa's 7th Judicial District, wrote in a Wednesday order. While the injunction does not entirely forbid the strike, the judge limited the number of picketers to no more than 4 at each gate of the facility.
Fuck? What the fuck?
Right?
Yeah. It's at least warranted.
Yeah, it is right.
Yeah,
at least warranted.
Yeah,
indeed. And it should
the entire
be
point of a
impermissible.
strike
That's
is
the point.
Yeah, the entire point of the strike is that it's impermissible and maybe unlawful. Warranted,
Man,
definitely warranted.
Good thing all the like weird libertarian First Amendment people are like up in arms about these people being infringed upon.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, and yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to go down the road that I was about to go.
I mean, I already sunk it by mentioning that they're libertarian, but also another important thing that was that I saw brought up recently, and it is good to keep in mind, the tendency to focus on things like boycotts, where we end up feeling as if our own buying power is what determines whether or not a company is going to be successful or not.
Right.
Not super effective. Boycotts don't. I mean, they're not
they're not effective because if the company doesn't make money, then the workers don't get paid, right? Or they get fired.
It's also simply that like not enough people ever boycott. You know, like if
that's the other
boycotting,
half
sure.
of it,
But-
and then the third like half of it, because
applying to strikes specifically, right? Is
that you have to put pressure on the company, and the only way that you put pressure on the company is like, hey bro, I ordered this part like 5 weeks ago, where the fuck is it?
I would like 10,000 tractors, please.
Yeah, and then the fucking bean counter guy has to go, oh well, the workers aren't working, I don't know what the problem is.
Exactly. And so I mean, don't buy a tractor if you don't need to, but there is something to be said about actually, yeah, let's all buy tractors.
Let's pool our money and buy a fucking Benzo Rehab tractor.
Let's do it.
We'll get it painted also, the company colors, black and white.
But you know that final point was the kind of the most important one that I brought it up for. But I think that it is it's telling and kind of sad that that this kind of thinking is absolutely everywhere. Where it's the exact kind of thinking that that ends up causing people to be like, well, I recycle and I bought the green laundry detergent and thereby I'm doing what I need to do for the environment, where it's like, it's not on you. Like these little micro things, the way that you're a consumer is not going to be the thing that saves the fucking world. And people are so comfortable in determining that like, no, I consume ethically and thereby, which again, impossible. But also ineffective.
So there's two things I want to bring up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We make fun of people who say wrong things all the time.
Yeah, which I've never done.
I'm surprised that neither of you really like called me out on the third half of this problem statement that I said. Third half of the problem.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That was intentional. I was hoping that you guys would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But you guys didn't. So I just want to like put that out there that was a joke, just in case anybody wants to call me stupid later.
If only some magical Indian lady with white skin were to like try to teach me how fractions work.
Yeah. And then the other thing I'd like to bring up is what you're talking about is like this liberal idea of individualism.
Yeah.
That kind of just soaks into and poisons everything, which is like, oh yeah, well I recycle, so I'm not hurting the environment. When it's like, yeah, no, what you need to do is like dismantle the fucking plant next to you. It's you know, burning coal for energy when we don't even need to do that at all, or whatever, you know. Well,
yeah, exactly.
Big plastics companies, etc. Let's go ahead and go to the next link. This is an article about the Kellogg strike. There should be a video in here somewhere.
Yeah, so it didn't load. It was removed.
That's unfortunate. It had some reporting from the ground at the Kellogg strike, just some people saying why they're striking. And it's the typical, and I don't say typical in like a derogatory sense, but typical in that people are being asked to work ridiculous amounts of hours. The benefits for like time off or whatever, you know, like the demands being made by the why are we looking at the War of Spanish Succession?
He's on a vibe, man. It's,
that was last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and the sad thing is that the workers are asking for like, hey, please give us like a week to 2 weeks off every year. That would be cool.
Absolutely not.
And you know, I know we probably all have complicated feelings on Tim Dillon, which I don't think John's probably like, who the fuck is Tim Dillon? I think
he's fucking hilarious.
I think Tim Dillon is hilarious. I
hate him and I love him.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
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 But he had a really good point, which I think is important to bring up, and I'm only attributing him to this not because he was the first person that made me think about it, but just because it was like a really salient point to what's going on. But like while he was talking about this, he was like, "Oh yeah, and they want a week off, which they're just gonna spend with their kids at like their doctor appointments or something like that." Because that's what happens.
Right.
Like
Right.
I have taken a lot of vacation time. Um, I haven't actually taken a lot of vacation time. I'm leaving my workplace with 120 hours of saved up vacation time, so that's how often I take time off.
Right.
But like the vacation time that I do take off is like taking my partner to appointments that she can't go to by herself, because she's gonna get anesthesia or whatever, and that's exactly
Yeah.
what's gonna happen with all these people is they're gonna get a week off, 40 hours of vacation time that they can use,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be used for like taking their kids to their doctor's appointments and stuff like that.
And even if it was being used for something else, who gives a shit? They should be
Right,
allowed
the very
to do whatever they
rare
want.
circumstance, of course.
But I just did the math, and do you know what giving someone a week off a year would equal in like a wage increase?
No, I don't know.
That's a 2% increase in wages.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be something really low because you got 52 working weeks, holidays notwithstanding.
So, awesome.
Let's go ahead and play this clip, John. I think this is the one. It's just a local news.
It's actually below 2%. Sorry, go on.
What the?
Unmute it.
It won't let me unmute it.
I think you got something wrong with your sound.
You got to slide the.
Oh yeah, try sliding the.
Oh,
there we go. That was weird.
I'm an internet wizard. I'm a virgin. That's what I mean.
Slid down. I don't know.
Slide it down.
Maybe I have a virus.
Well, the Kellogg strike has now extended over 2 weeks.
We often see picket signs during the day here in Omaha, but the workers, they're there around the clock. 3 News Now reporter Zach Williamson spent the night with the workers and joins us now live. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning.
They really care about
There are 6 gates to the Kellogg's plant in Omaha, and workers are manning each gate in 4-hour shifts. I hung out with 2 different shifts to learn what it's like on the picket line in the very early hours of the day and why they're on strike.
Hell yeah.
We want to get this over with too. But we
one honk equals one prayer.
We're going to start with that, and then we're going to move on to the firewood. They're trying to divide us by making us 2 different wages. And it's $11 or $12 a part. Yeah.
So I'm going to comment that this guy seems drunk, and I do approve.
Yeah, no, okay. I was like, you better not be criticizing my boy for showing up to the strike drunk.
I immediately appreciate this man.
I will also point out, like, related to that, I was just thinking about this, but the fact that like these people, as they're striking, and of course striking is uncomfortable in a lot of ways, but can also be like really joyous, and like it's a mixed bag like anything else.
Solidarity.
But is that the way they're managing their strike is they have like food and shit, and they strike in 4-hour shifts, and so they already have like better management while they're not at work.
Exactly.
They would at work, right?
The non-management class is managing the strike better than the regular working conditions.
The anti-managerial class,
which I agree with completely.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway,
continue playing this.
And there's no chance to get on for full-time status. So we're fighting for all these people, and we're wanting to just have what we believe is fair and equal pay for all people.
Hopefully that'll take off and get this. Otherwise, we'll have to go with our other option.
A lot of this stuff that we got, we appreciate pretty much they're all donations by people that stop by. At believe it or not, there's a lot of people that just stop by that don't even work with us.
Plenty of stuff to help us out.
Good.
Food, snacks, drinks.
And the outpour of the support has been great, so.
Yeah, it gets a little cold once you get into 3 o'clock in the morning. When you've got a sheet that's got 20 spots staying over, 20 spots coming in early, and your shift only has 40-some people, it's not volunteering. You're picking which one you're going to get stuck with.
It feels weird knowing that just looking in there, we're used to being in there 12 hours a day. You know, now we're out here.
Well, you got the one that, of course, Tony the Tiger telling them greed. And we're trying to get some of the, show your support, come by, honk.
Hell yeah.
I've talked to more people since we started doing this than I knew in there.
It's given us actually more of a chance to bond and get to know everybody out here, so.
It's the longest part of the night.
Loaded with monsters with some water, too.
We're here 24/7. You know? We're gonna go home. We're used to being here. We can show them.
We're going to be out here as long as it takes until Kellogg's will come to their senses. What W.K. Kellogg's, the founder, used to say is put profits into my people. That there says it all. It's a different scenario from what was started with this company from what it is today. So.
Workers
Fucking
say
love
they
these
are
guys.
fighting to get rid of titles like transitional
Wholesome and good. We don't need to listen to that.
Th- They're trying to remove titles such as transit. Maybe the last bit is worth listening
Oh,
to.
I was just gonna talk about it. So.
Oh, okay.
They're they have 2 classes of workers, which is like a transitional worker or like a legacy worker, right? And a lot of companies are doing this now, especially companies in just general workplaces, because this is something that's happened with my government job, is they have what's called the legacy worker, which is back when the benefit was clearly better.
Right.
These legacy workers weren't going to give up that benefit, and they shouldn't give up that benefit, of course, but they made the trade-off that, like, okay, yeah, we won't give up that benefit, but newer employees, yeah, they're going to get a degraded same set of these benefits that we have.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because we'll still get our stuff. And so it doesn't actually make sense, and then that's been a problem at my current workplace. Is we have legacy workers who are getting a 3% every year pay into their pension, whereas I only get a like 1.75% pay into my pension.
Yeah.
And so the legacy workers obviously have more benefits. They have oh, we've got more time in here, and I'm never going to be afforded that. Like, if I kept working at this position 5 years from now, I would be the new legacy employee, but I would be 1.75% when the new people coming in would be at like 1.25%. Yeah, or 0.1%, whatever. And so they're getting rid of that distinction, which I think is really good. There's no such thing as a legacy worker or a transitional or new worker.
Yeah.
We should all receive the same benefit. So that's one of the things that they're fighting for, is that everybody should be receiving the same benefit.
And I would also want to point out, so every workplace that I've ever worked at where I've spoken with everyone about, like, we need to like perform some kind of action, or we need to unionize or anything like that, the thing that you always end up hearing from people is the unions take so much money out of our pocket, and / unions aren't what they used to be. The average union dues are $400 a year.
Yeah,
it's 2 hours a month, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is totally fucking worth it, especially when you consider something like what you were just talking about, where losing that, like, what did you say, it was like a 1.2 decrease in the pension that you end up getting like every year.
Yep.
And that fucking adds up. That's not $400.
No.
And
that's
then add on
that's like
vacation,
after I retire, that's maybe, I don't know. I think I'm eligible for if I stayed in this job, I'd be eligible for retirement at 65.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to make it to that, but
yeah. but also it's like also union workers generally make more as well.
Yeah.
I mean, not all the time, but I mean, yes. Yeah. And so like even if you were working for like a $7.25 an hour job paying $400 into it, like that's still ultimately not that much a year. It's, I don't know. So it's maddening.
Unions are good.
Union good. Police union bad.
Make more of them. Yeah. The only union that's bad is the police union. But the police union is...
Then the pedophiles union. I fucking hate that one.
Is there a pedophiles union?
No, probably not.
Oh man. Yeah.
They don't usually get paid for their work. So.
Yeah. I just don't want to put that into Google search.
No, do not do that.
You know, I'm glad to see that there's been some learning after the last time you decided to start Googling things without any forethought.
My curiosity does not have to be sated.
I think the only pedophile that's really made a profit is Jeffrey Epstein. Right?
I was gonna say, yeah. The Lolita Express Union.
Oh God.
Let's go to the next link.
Yeah, fair.
So
paywall.
Paywall. Anyways, this was. I'm just bringing up a bunch of strikes that are happening. Nabisco workers in their week-long strike after reaching a new contract. So they went on strike. They got their demands met. Strikes work. Is the point I wanted to make there. Go to the next link. This is an interesting tidbit of information that I've learned recently. And this article is from something called East Coast Risk Management. I don't know what other work they've done. Since they're an HR risk management company, they probably suck, but this is important information that people should know. A lot of our clients have wisely questioned if they are allowed to prohibit employees from discussing their salary with other employees. The answer usually surprises them. The simple answer is no.
Imagine that.
Yeah. You're allowed to talk about your fucking wages.
How much money they make. Right. Amazing.
Yep. So according to the National Labor Relations Act, most employers are familiar with the an employer cannot prohibit salary discussion among employees according to the National Labor Relations Act. If you scroll down a little bit, there's a couple of exceptions. So most employees in the private sector are covered by this act. However, the act specifically excludes individuals who are employed by federal, state, or local government. That applies to me. I don't know how much my boss makes, but I could, like weirdly, I don't know how much my boss makes, but I could submit for a
FOIA request.
Yeah, a FOIA request.
Yeah, right.
To find out how much my boss makes if I really wanted to. So employed by a religious school, employees here are subject to the school's policy. Employed as agricultural laborers, which is something that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Employed in the domestic service of any person or family in a home, which is weird. And seems like maybe you're just trying to have house slaves.
Yeah.
Employed by a parent or a spouse. Like, your dad's not going to tell you how much everybody else in the company makes. Maybe you've got a bad relationship with your dad, I guess.
Yeah.
My brother makes...
Employed as an independent contractor, that needs to be changed.
Yeah, yeah.
Employed as a supervisor. This also applies to me. Supervisors who have been discriminated against for refusing to violate the NLRA may be covered. So there's like a weird gray area there. Employed by an employer subject to the Railway Labor Act, such as railroads and airlines.
Is that like Chinese slave labor?
I think it goes back that far, maybe. Honestly. Employed by any other person who is not an employer, as defined in the NLRA. So there's some problems here, but The keynote here is that if your regular workplace is discouraging you from discussing your salary and other people's salary with each other, that's illegal, and you've got grounds for a claim there.
And everyone talking about their wages is never going to cause your wages to go down. There's a chance it'll cause your wages to go up.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I had a coworker who because I just tell everybody that I work with how much I make.
Yeah.
Hoping that they will tell me how much they make.
$5 million a year. You rich fuck.
Yep.
That's true.
Selling.
I've seen it.
Dirty asshole pics on OnlyFans.
Dirty asshole pics.
Yeah.
You've only sent me clean ones.
You have coworkers?
Yeah, that's because you don't pay. Yeah.
True.
I'm on the free OnlyFans.
A little green for a little brown.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not going to douse my asshole in hot sauce and mustard.
Please tell your personal anecdote, John.
Oh man, I got distracted by the asshole pic. Oh yeah. No, but the second that I told my coworker how much I made, within a week, he was making as much as I am.
Yeah, exactly. If they're willing to do it for one worker, they're willing to do it for the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a happy accident when they don't have to.
Right. I am technically self-employed as a consultant, but I do let's just say that we talk in the company and everyone that I supervise. So I guess I'm fucking it up twice and can get in trouble, but it's worth it. Where I make sure that we all definitely discuss this type of thing and maybe strategize. I won't say that we do, but I won't say that we don't. But yeah, it's important. Talk to your coworkers. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You might hate them. They might be irritating. You don't want to hang out with them. Probably mostly because the fact that it's work and you hate work. You don't hate them.
Well, and the other
but
thing
it is worth it.
I remember when I was working for the pharmaceutical company, there was a guy who was making quite a lot of money, and there was the people I was working with in my like little division of labor were like hyper conservative, and they're like, oh, there's no way that fucking liberal asshole should be making that much money or whatever. However, they knew how much money he made, and they were able to compare his job description with their own job description and go, hey, I should be making more money. And then they were able to successfully negotiate for my divisional labor to make like a percentage more money, because they were like,
exactly,
hey, asshole over here makes this much money doing such and such, and we like directly support that operation by doing such and such. So why aren't we making like a similar grade of pay, or like why is it so disparate? Because everybody recognizes, whether they're conservative, leftist, fucking neo-lib cucks, whatever they are, when you're doing like comparable jobs, you should be making comparable pay, because everybody goes, hey, I deserve a slice of whatever fucking pie is being passed out.
It's extremely important to acknowledge that you are literally selling your time and labor. Like, that is the product that you're selling.
Absolutely.
And so imagine like walking into a market and seeing that someone is able to like sell bananas for 50 cents and you just thought they were worth $2.
Yeah.
And that just means, upon learning that, it just means you can charge 50 cents. You're fine. Maybe 40, maybe 51. You're more convenient. But yeah, it's knowledge is power.
Let's go to the first Twitter link I have up. It's a Dave Rubin clip. We love Dave Rubin. We like.
Oh man, he's the best boy. Is this his weird ball cutting thing?
No, this is a different thing.
Hell yeah.
So before we start another chapter on Dave Rubin,
the Rubster,
I need to take a piddle break.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and take a quick break then.
The Ruby Rube. Yeah.
We will do a $5, and we will be right back. All right, we are back from our break, which was
So
far
it broke
less
me
than
in
5
half.
minutes for the listener or the viewer. However, we are going to roll right into some Dave Rubin action. I love the still that we have up right now.
So good.
It's like the perfect like expression of Dave Rubin's intelligence.
It's just a moment before he comes.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
Well, this is actually my O
Those are-
face, and
Yeah,
liberal
that's
media will tell you that.
Vinegar strokes.
So, do you think that Dave Rubin's O face and his like shitting his pants face are the same? Because I got shitting my pants from this.
I don't
face.
think Dave Rubin has
Ooh.
ever actually shown anyone his O face because I don't believe that he fucks.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
possible,
like,
yeah.
yeah, like I do not believe that
him
he's
and
a
his husband have
sexual
to
being.
be in the most loveless relationship that I think has probably ever happened.
Oh yeah, yeah, and yeah, no, because like Dave Rubin's husband is like, I can write incoherent like propaganda pieces, and I guess Dave Rubin could be attractive in the right light, but then
Got good hair.
but he made a bad decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like a restaurant that fucking redecorates like to tropic fucking aesthetic.
Let's just
Yeah.
say they have two separate beds.
Yeah. Didn't it come out that literally what's his fuck, the tiny one, Ben Chabino and his wife have separate beds?
Oh no, that was a fake tweet.
I don't care, it's real now.
Yeah, no, I mean
We
it's
just hyperstitioned it into reality.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
real enough that it doesn't really matter, and you know I
Yeah.
saw it getting posted around a lot, and I had this like immediate like reflection or reflexive kind of like, oh, I need to tell people that this isn't real, and I was like, no, I don't fucking care if people believe that.
Yeah.
about Ben
No,
Shapiro.
well, I mean,
We're propagandists, guys.
Yeah.
You just gotta admit it.
I mean, it's not propaganda that apparently Dave Shapiro's wife has never been wet, though.
Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
that's something he pretty much admitted to. I think.
Yeah, which I think is evidence that they have separate beds. You know, I'm choosing to believe.
Well, it's just it's amazing that the development of lubricant was the advent of people's ability to have sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how we made babies before that. Probably like basters or something.
Well,
But yeah,
yeah.
because
God bless.
That's where the term dry humping comes from, I think.
Right. That's what sex used to be. It's all the time. There's dry humping and then a series of tubes.
I mean,
That's,
I guess we discovered in the last century that women can become aroused or something. So I guess that's
I'm trying so hard to get somebody to push the play button.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so fixated on dry humping followed by a series of tubes. It's like
it's great. It's great.
Thank you.
Can we make sure we're
Guess
all
I'm
the
gonna
way
make a
back at the
meme.
beginning?
All right, let's watch this video of Dave
Yeah.
Rubin dry humping.
Obama third term, that they could only get a certain amount of it done, that Obama and just his crew,
That was-
remember,
yeah.
there's that video. We need to show it again. Let's show it again, maybe tomorrow or certainly next week. The Obama interview where he says, you know, boy, the best thing for me would be to have my 2 terms as president and then basically be able to do everything from behind the scenes. I'm slightly paraphrasing him, but that's pretty much what he said. He's getting that right now. I think all of the worst progressive, leftist, Marxist ideas are being pushed through. And again, this is where I would give a very strong, you guys were seriously wrong, to my good, decent liberal friends. And even the last few somewhat sane liberals, whoever they are, this I'm talking about the you know, Bill Maher, Sam Harris
my
crew. It's
God.
like, you guys have to admit that you voted all this in and you supported all of this stuff.
Let him go on.
I know you don't want to admit it.
What
This
the
will go for Steven Pinker, Jonathan Haidt, Nick Christakis, a lot of people who I've had on the show. This is not an attack on them personally. But if you were a Democrat who said, oh, I don't like Trump, Biden will be the thing that will stop the left. It was so obvious that it wasn't going to happen. And you have to acknowledge that. You have to sit there with that and go, boy, things are way worse. You know what I mean? It's like there would not be shortages right now if Donald Trump. There wouldn't be. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump.
What the
supply
fuck?
chain going. I'm pretty.
What?
So let's talk about the world that that Dave Rubin is living in, where all of these good, decent liberals voted for Biden because Biden would stop the left.
I mean, I think.
Yeah, no, he's telling a truth there. But also that's not really what the intent was. And then also the idea that Biden is, or Obama is like forcing the left principles to happen through the new Democratic like leadership. Like what leftist policy has been enacted out of Biden's administration? Can somebody?
Well, he's trying to build bridges.
Is he? We'll talk about that later.
Maybe he might be.
He says
he's considering
wants
it
to build bridges.
He mentioned student loan forgiveness and then forgot it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the truth that he's telling is that all these liberals voted for Biden to stop the left, which is kind of true.
Yeah.
And then the lie that he's telling is that all these leftist policies are starting to come into to effect now. What leftist policy? He doesn't name one, of course. And he claims that Obama's behind it all. And to be fair to what he's saying, Obama has been behind some things, like making calls to certain people at crucial moments to be like, hey, yeah, don't support
maybe
this
you
guy.
should drop out.
Yeah, maybe you should drop out, blah blah blah, etc. Because Obama is such like a liberal icon that he has so much power now because he was the first black president. He didn't do anything out of that. And you know, we could talk about all the drone wars and torture programs and whatever that Obama oversaw implicitly through not changing any of those policies and expanding
and signing off on them, literally.
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah,
full murder list.
Right, like he wasn't personally like interrogating terrorists or anything like that, but he said, yeah, no, it's fine. Hey, it's okay.
Wouldn't that be great if he did though?
Yeah, we
that'd be pretty cool. In his tan suit,
we tortured some folks.
Just taking drills to people's knees.
Yeah, I would respect him more if he was actually a participant in it.
Yeah, get his hands dirty.
Rolled up his little sleeves.
Little sleeves.
We got another 25 seconds of Dave Rubin.
Let's do it.
So let's finish this real quick.
Sure, we would be out of a lot of the COVID madness because the COVID madness is being fabricated by this government that wants to control you. And you may not have liked Donald Trump, but he never wanted this kind of control over your life, which, by the way, is why Donald Trump kept kicking it all back to the states. And if I'm not mistaken, they've just released some new state COVID update stuff, and Florida's at the lowest levels right now in the entire country.
That's not true at all.
Amazing.
So lying liar Dave Rubin, getting everything wrong as usual. I wish there was like a sensible way to like explain why he gets things so wrong, but I think it's just that he's a fucking grifter.
That seems correct. Yeah. You can go to like World
that
Reports.
That looks bad for Florida.
It does look pretty bad. Let's see.
So yeah, no, it's interesting how weirdo grifters like Dave Rubin latch on to like the very real thing that Obama does still have a very influential role in politics today.
Lowest in the country.
Yeah, lowest in the country. Just by a cursory fucking Google search, it's in the top 3.
Yeah,
and let's not ignore that California, the bleeding liberal state, is in first place here.
Oh yeah.
Gavin Newsom is never going to institute any kind of COVID policy anymore because of the recall thing that happened. And that's not me saying he has an excuse for it. That's me saying he cares more about his career than he cares about your life.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that, maybe we need to talk to HR about forcibly relocating Danko to Florida, so that.
But why?
So that we can all be located in the holy trinity of
That's
fucked up
true.
states.
That's true. I am looking to move. Yes.
How's Florida feel?
Oh man, bad. Sounds bad.
I've been to Florida twice, and both times man, fuck that.
Yeah, no, I like it's usually my scapegoat when people are like, "Oh man, you're from Texas, like that's fucked up," and I was like, "Oh man, you're like, I bet you like half your bias are actually attributed to Florida." It's so much more nuts in Florida than it is.
I thought
in
it was
Texas.
a fucking joke, but in Florida they literally have big billboards that are advertisements against fucking your own children.
I mean, you got to make it known.
Yep.
Anti-incest billboards in Florida, because it's that much of a problem there that they have to be like, hey, we know you're drunk. Don't fuck your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you drive through Florida, there will be a billboard for a 70s style adult book theater that's 100 miles away from anything.
Yeah.
So, it's a glory hole.
Right.
And then a billboard for like having your soul saved by Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Then a billboard that literally warns tourists that Florida citizens shoot to kill.
Yep.
And then the anti-incest.
Right. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That is legitimately my experience with Florida.
Fine.
I wasn't even in like a bad area of Florida. I was in fucking Naples, Florida.
Yeah.
And I saw these kind of advertisements. I'm like, this is like the nice part of Florida. It's not like Miami where it's like, hey, it's exotic sort of, but like also run down and shitty. No, this is Naples, Florida, where it's like everyone here makes a lot of fucking money, and they're still having to tell everyone in the area, don't fuck your kids.
Yeah, don't fuck your kids, but please shoot each other.
Yeah, right. Let's go to the next Twitter link. It's another Dave Rubin clip. He's been putting out some bangers. This is one of the most amazing things I think I've ever heard him say, I think, because he doesn't even try to substantiate it. He just makes like the claim. Go ahead and roll it, John.
After all of this social justice stuff, is America more or less racist right now? Let's say in the last 5 years. I would say America probably is more racist because we weren't racist 5 years ago. We really weren't. And now they've hyper-racialized everything. So the lefties are all racist.
So for the record, and it might just because now I am an adult that is larger than most people, I have not been called the N-word in over a decade to my face. Oh, wait, no, I take that back. It's called the N-word like 4 years ago. So never mind.
I'm still sorry about that. I'm just kidding. It wasn't me.
I haven't been called the N-word in months.
I've never been called... No, actually, I have been called the N-word before.
Wild.
And not even just in like a game lobby or something. I literally was called to my face the N-word once, and I'm not even. It's like my response to it was like, "You're not even calling me the right racist thing, man."
Confused racist.
Go ahead.
Hell yeah! Let's finish up this.
Racist. And I suspect they're breeding some racists on the right. Otherwise, people who otherwise would not have been racist. People who didn't look at everything through a racial lens, but, who maybe are just white and regular people who just want to go about their lives, who are sick of being called the worst things in the world. So they start kind of becoming racist. Does that seem possible? I suspect so. So it is our work It's like, after
What
all of the
is
social
he?
justice stuff.
What is happening in his head?
I don't know.
I really hope that he's like on the brink of an emotional breakdown.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Yeah, that he ends up killing himself. Which if he does, I promise everybody right now, I will not apologize.
John, it
go.
seems like you hate the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, that's the sense I'm getting.
which Dave Rubin belongs to.
Yeah,
he actually owns it.
Yeah, he does, because
Both of the gays.
Yeah, he's a white affluent gay, so he is in fact the god emperor of the LGBTQ community.
Man, that sucks.
Hell yeah.
Well, gents,
we've decided that.
I'm gonna give you guys an option here.
The affluent white gays decided that.
The affluent white.
Gay men.
We can either call it here, or we can go into some infrastructure stuff. What's the vote?
I at least would like to show my favorite person of the week.
Show the favorite person of the week and pick up on infrastructure later.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Especially with everything we talked about last week. Ooh.
This is actually your favorite person of the last year, I think.
Oh yeah, the last year, yes.
But it's a good video regardless.
Yes, and my favorite thing is in fact angry black ladies yelling at white people.
That is a pretty niche fetish you have.
Yeah.
No, but I don't disrespect it. Like it's fair.
It does something for me.
Warning, I'm not nice
Full
and
screen
I
that
don't
shit.
seek to be respectable. I'm not asking y'all for anything because y'all can't and won't be both my savior and my oppressor. I don't want reform. I want to turn this building into luxury low-cost housing. These will make some really nice apartments to me. Firstly, stop using black children as photo opportunities because they're cute now, but in 10 years, they're black male suspect in red shirts and khaki shorts. Eating cookies and drinking milk with children does not absolve you of your complicity in their oppression and denigration, Rick Smith.
She's talking to the her county's board of police commissioners.
And this is in Kansas, correct?
Yeah, Kansas City,
Kansas City, right.
Which is in Missouri. Yeah.
Missouri.
Because Kansas City will spend more on police than education and then try to encourage children to feast with their oppressors. Y'all are really weird. It's asinine to be called radical or homegrown terrorists for not wanting government employees to kill citizens in any instance. So I'm not here begging anything of soulless white folks and self-preserving black folks. You get one life, and you all in this room have chosen profits over people, and that's pathetic. So I'm going to spend the next 2 minutes reading y'all for a filth, something I'm sure nobody has ever done. Nathan, the gentleman, in the vomit-colored men's warehouse suit, in desperate need of Bosley and a haircut, a former FBI agent who exudes white privilege and is the epitome of mediocrity, and who loves Trump so much that he hired his former attorney general at his firm. And it's so sweet because he spent most of this meeting looking away with his head in his hands. Or Pastor Mark of Victorious Life Church on 34th and Paseo, where the mission is to provide a place and opportunity to worship Jesus Christ and preach a message of hope and faith through God's holy word in the building. Meanwhile, he's subjecting black people to terrorism and un-Christ-like behavior at the hands of KCPD outside the building. And Kathy, Miss, I'll get here before the other commission members, so I look as if I have empathy, and I'm excited to hear what they have to say. Meanwhile, I didn't have anything else to do at 8 o'clock in the morning but be rich and white and retired, so I'm here early. Or Don, owner of Wagner Investments, Blue Notes LLC, and part owner of the Royals, another rich and white and disconnected and out of touch person with nothing but pure apathy seeping through the bulging veins of your paper-colored skin. You age like trash when you're racist and subject others to violence. And David, you don't get a vote, but it'd be a shame if your really progressive students at UMKC Block School of Management knew you were a cop lover in 2020. I don't think they would be a huge fan of that. in 2020. In 1960, maybe, but this is 2020. And Q, had I not spent the entirety of the last 6 months dragging you, I would have more to say, but I don't. And Rick, I won't even begin with you, because I don't care enough about you.
Ma'am, your time
to
is up.
start, but you will have to spend overtime in a chapel at the end of your life. You have blood on your hands, and while these idiots hold you on a pedestal, God does not honor injustice and murder. Anyways, I'll leave you soulless, profit-driven, avaricious, greedy, God-forsaken humans, including anyone who works in this building, with one Bible verse from the Bible detailing the life of Jesus Christ, who was another unarmed black man murdered by authorities in the book you hellbound people claim to love so much. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? You're really funny. Kiki.
Damn.
Is
the black guy on the council is like fucking laughing.
I want to listen to the last couple seconds just to hear if it's totally silent or what. Because there's some clapping, but I need it.
That's it for public comments. I don't think anybody else has signed up.
All procedure, baby.
I love that.
In the name of Jesus Christ, we draw the line.
In the name of Jesus Christ, we draw the line. That was worth it right there.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Get him out of here! Get him out of here!
Oh, fuck.
John, don't keep going through the fucking autoplay.
This weird porno thing that you always do.
Yeah. I just
I'm gonna censor this one too.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I think this is the end of the podcast now.
Yes, this is the final one. We couldn't make it to.
Well, no. The end of
guys.
this particular episode. I mean.
Oh.
This podcast will never end because I don't know when to stop.
You're immortal, also.
Yes,
sadly.
I'm actually working on putting my brain inside of a robot so I can live forever. And
the robot's me.
Continue dunking on libs until the sun explodes and our world is evaporated. So like I said at the beginning, I'm hoping my new job prospect will give me some more time to work on more content. I'm excited for that because I do have a bunch of like half scripts written up for deep dives that I want to do, but I haven't really had like the time available to make them. The other thing is, if you appreciate the podcast and broadcast and whatever we're doing, please donate to the Patreon, patreon.com/BenzoRehabDungeon. We will never be behind a paywall. We will never do advertisements. My promise to you. And the second I do any of that, please shoot me in the head. You have permission to do that. But yeah, no. If you like this, please donate because I'm doing this all at cost, and it'd be cool if like I could do it more full time. Danko, do you have anything you want to pitch?
The usual stuff. The workshop is still ongoing. We're entering into week 2 of the semester we have, which has been really successful so far. A lot of fun. We have a really good group going. So if you head to patreon.com/TRUNCATA, you can pay for a subscription, which includes the lectures that I'm beginning to do, or you can message Mike or myself or potentially even John, I guess, in order to see if you want to just pop in. Again, the payments, the subscription is more of a suggestion than anything, but so please check that out if you're interested in writing, philosophy, art, any of this stuff. And that's all I've got for now.
John?
Yeah, nothing to pitch.
Where can we find your butthole pics?
So if there's a very involved process and like with a treasure hunt, you know, like you have to like look for clues online. But I'll get into that later.
It's Brown's Clues.
There's a Where's Waldo collage of assholes. That's nothing but assholes online, and one of those assholes, very very tinily on one of the wrinkles of the anus.
There's a QR code or something.
That'll lead you right to my OnlyFans content.
Okay.
Or you can Google search John McKinnon OnlyFans, and it leads you right there.
Man. I'm gonna censor the last name drop there.
It's on the screen. Is it not on the screen when we put it up?
No. I have that cropped out.
Well, sorry for doxing you.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't doxed him yet because this is not recorded live. So
do it live.
I'm going to edit that out. I'll put a trumpet sound or something instead.
We always just do a fart sound.
Yes.
But we always talk about how we don't censor this podcast or anything, and now it looks like we are starting to. So
the one thing I will censor is
doxing and hardcore porn.
Yes, doxing and hardcore porn.
Hell yeah.
Which whether or not I censor this podcast is completely dependent on whether or not you guys do censorable stuff. So
that's what the government says.
I was thankful that you were on my side about being doxxed, but I feel like you're gaslighting us now. So
I'm completely gaslighting you, and you deserve it. So
yeah, more
gaslighting on top of gaslighting.
He's keep girl bossing us.
I really think that a couple of prop guns need to be dropped around your house.
Who's
so we can shoot them 5 times a piece.
Who prop guns the prop guns? You know what I mean? Gentlemen, a pleasure as always. Thank you very much for this wonderful discussion.
Inshallah.
Listener, viewer, we love you. Please take your medicine.
Please take mine too.
And save some for your friends.